No doubt many of you have heard Michael Savage on the radio saying that liberalism is a mental disorder. And unknown to many of you, Mike Savage actually stole that line from John and Frank, who conduct the program The Right Perspective, both on the internet and on shortwave on Friday evenings. They were actually the first. What I want to read to you is an article that just appeared November 12th, 2008 on World Net Daily. Liberals clinically mad, concludes top psychiatrist. Eminent doctor makes case leftist ideology is a mental disorder. Washington. When liberals thought it was safe to start identifying themselves as such, an acclaimed veteran psychiatrist is making the case that the ideology motivating them is actually a mental disorder. Based on a striking irrational beliefs and emotions, modern liberals relentlessly undermine the most important principles on which our freedoms were founded, says Dr. Lyle Rossiter, author of the new book, The Liberal Mind, The Psychological Causes of Political Madness. Like spoiled, angry children, they rebel against the normal responsibilities of adulthood and demand that a parental government meet their needs from cradle to grave. For more than 35 years, he has diagnosed and treated more than 1,500 patients as a board-certified clinical psychologist and examined more than 2,700 civil and criminal cases as a board-certified forensic psychiatrist. He has received his medical and psychiatric training at the University of Chicago. Rossiter says that the kind of liberalism being displayed by both Barack Obama and his Democratic Party opponent, Hillary Clinton, can only be understood as a psychological disorder. A social scientist who understands human nature will not dismiss the vital roles of free choice, voluntary cooperation, and moral integrity, as liberals do. A political leader who understands human nature will not ignore individual differences in talent, drive, personal appeal, and work ethic, and then try to impose economic and social equality on the population, as liberals do. A legislator who understands human nature will not create an environment of rules which overregulates and overtaxes the nation's citizens, corrupts their character, and reduces them to wards of the state, as liberals do. Dr. Rossiter says the liberal agenda preys on weakness and feelings of inferiority in the population by creating and reinforcing perceptions of victimization, satisfying infantile claims to entitlement, indulgence, and compensation, augmenting primitive feelings of envy, rejecting the sovereignty of the individual, subordinating him to the will of the government. The roots of liberalism and its associated madness can be clearly identified by understanding how children develop from infancy to adulthood and how distorted the development produces the irrational beliefs of the liberal mind. When the modern liberal mind whines about imaginary victims, rages against imaginary villains, and seeks above all else to run the lives of persons competent to run their own lives, the neurosis of the liberal mind becomes painfully obvious. Along those same lines, I came across a blog last week which was published on November 1st, prior to the elections. It's too bad that this could not have been confirmed. However, Barack Obama, as you know, will not release his medical records. The article reads, "The October surprise is here. Obama is hiding mental history in his medical records." What is he hiding? Information is leaking that Barack Obama was treated for mental illnesses in the 1970s and early 1980s. And may have been prescribed anti-psychotic medications. Schizophrenia is the main reported diagnosis, with possible severe depression. In his first book, he expresses his struggle with his identity and wanting to kill his white hat, as views he shares with Malcolm X. Dreams from My Father suggest that Barack Obama has a problem with white people and is troubling because he is half white. Barack Obama sees himself as a black man raised by his white mother and grandparents. In his book, he disuses his feelings about this matter and what seemed like the depression resulting from it. Obama suffered from depression, and Obama is a schizophrenic individual. Perhaps this will explain why he flip-flops so much. How that on one day he could say that Iran is not a serious threat, and then the very next day say that he has maintained for years that Iran is a grave threat. Is Barack Obama truly a schizophrenic? Does he have a split personality? Thanks for listening.